welcome. My name's Marie and this is my yarn journey. Hope you are well and that you're looking forward to your weekend. What have you been up to this week? Have you got any plans at the weekend? Just let me know. I'm drinking my morning coffee as usual. I did sneak in a new mug. You know, if you've been here for any time, I have mentioned a few times that I do like getting new mugs. But this one was a bit of a bargain from Home Bargains. And it's a perfect size for my morning coffee. And the perfect shape. And that is a really, really yummy coffee. I better address what I'm wearing because obviously you will see that I have got a finished object. There's a lot to say about this that I absolutely love. It's the first time that I have knit with the Ula and Leah yak 100% yak yarn. This was in the first ever purchase I made from them through the Kickstarter, and this is the first yarn I think that I've ever had that I really thought, wow, does that bloom? And it really does. It's I mean, it's when you're knitting with it, it obviously has a lot of spinning oils on it, and that's not something that I've noticed before on yarns in such a way. And when I was knitting with it at times, I was knitting quite a dense, it was quite a dense fabric, not stiff, it still felt soft, but when I've blocked it, honestly, it's just like a hug. It's got a little bit of a fuzz. For me anyway, there's literally no prickle. It's super soft against my skin. I can tell that this is going to be a lovely, lovely warm sweater. Now the pattern itself, I really enjoyed knitting. I love how the sleeves have turned out. Although they are fitted, they don't feel tight at all or restrictive in any way at all. I like that I chose these colours. I feel that works. And this is a natural platinum grey in this yarn. It's not taken me too long to knit, I don't think. Sleeve lengths have turned out good. That was the benefit of, I did this time a mid-project block, and I have tried it on several times. This week I was working on the body. I'll just stand up so you can see where it hits, hopefully. And it hangs nicely over my stomach. It is still a little bit damp, so if you see that it's getting a bit creased and stuff quite easily, it's just because I wanted to wear it to show you because I was excited to do that. So I'm suffering a tiny bit of dampness. It's almost dry. And bearing in mind I only finished it yesterday, it's not too bad. Now there's a couple of issues to mention. I don't think that this pattern for my body shape has enough short rows, and I think this is an issue with quite a few patterns, and I'm not a confident enough knitter to know how to add extra short rows. So I think this is something that I need to be looking into because I don't know if you can tell or how it's showing on screen, but the neckline, I feel like it's pulling up here. I feel like if it was sort of here on me, that would be perfect, but it keeps riding up. I've only had it on for a few minutes. I may get used to this and it keeps going to that sort of position. I don't know. Is there a solution? Oh, I thought I'd knocked my iPad off then. I'm not really sure. And the other issue is what I've mentioned before, which is the rippling. Now, I don't think it looks, it is still obvious, it's still there. And it is a shame, but I still love the sweater. Just hoping that I will get used to this neckline. Not sure what to say about that really, but it's been a good one for my outs, although I'm still a plus for the month, obviously, with all the Ula and Leah yarn that arrived this month. I was mainly knitting on the body this week, and I thought that I would easily be able to get this done and get my socks finished. Well, that was silly because I had quite a lot to do. I think I was only about here on the body. So, and yeah, and didn't have as much knitting time this week with work and everything. So what do you think? I would highly, highly recommend this yarn. It's wonderful. And I really like that this isn't a colour that I have made a top in before. It's definitely different from anything I've got in my wardrobe. I'm quite impressed that this does actually have a bit of drape. Hangs nicely over my stomach. Oh, and the neon colour was a Woolly Mama. I actually used just under 50 grams. And I think of the Ula and Leah, I think did I have 6 skeins? And I have got a full skein left and quite a bit of another one, maybe even half. So I wonder what I can make with the leftovers, because I don't really want to waste this beautiful yarn. What do you think? I was thinking maybe some mittens, because I think that this will make some beautiful mittens. Lovely and soft and thick. So that might just, and the neutral, so it will just go with anything, won't it? Train going past. Okay, the second and only other project that I have worked on is my Mermaid Avenue socks. I have done a bit of this last weekend after recording, and this is the first sock, and it's a Mermaid Avenue by Summer Lee. I'm ready now, I think, to do the heel on this. I'm a little bit concerned that this is going to be quite baggy on the leg. I might actually give it a try on. Anyways, I'm not going to rip it out, but if it is that way, I might size down for the next sock. And that's in my tea, cake and makes bag. They're the only 2 projects that I've got to show you, so I feel like this is going to be quite a quick episode. Why have I done that? Although I have got a few other things to talk about. So tomorrow is new cast on day, so potentially there might be another video this weekend. My choices for February for new cast-ons is I am going to do, I'll just get the yarn as well. So I am thinking of doing the petite knit Sunday socks, or a variation. I've got a pattern, I think, in the Summerlee sock book, which is a ribbed one. So I'm just going to probably make it up as I go along. I've got 100 grams of this DK weight Blue Fern yarn in purple quartz. That was one that I got at Yarndale. And yeah, I think there'll be a nice pair of warm, cosy socks. And I'm also casting on the, just get the other yarn. So if you remember last year at some point I knit the Salty Days sweater. Now that sweater turned out fabulous. It was the most, at that point, I'd say the most textured sweater I'd ever knit. I was especially proud of the collar, and I think the yarn that I used did mean that there was very, very good stitch definition. And that yarn was the John Arbon Textiles, and it's the Apple Door DK in Quench. And for that sweater, you had to hold a DK weight yarn with a lace weight. So I got this in the DK and the lace weight and held that together and made the Salty Days sweater. Now that Salty Days sweater, probably due to my tight gauge, turned out, finished garment was beautiful, but it was too fitted for my preference, and it the yarn against my skin felt quite scratchy. So as I'm trying to, and I'd had it in my wardrobe for quite a bit. I tried it on a couple of occasions and taken it off again and put it away. So I knew I wasn't going to wear it, and I didn't want to waste this lovely yarn that I'd bought. So I decided to frog it, or should I say send it off to the frogging fairy, and she frogged it for me and brought it back, and it's in, so it's the DK and the lace that are wound together at the moment. So after AJ had suggested that maybe, because I did find that yarn quite scratchy, I could do a cardigan with it, and I've been looking at the Midland cardigan, and then I realised that this was actually one of the recommended yarns for the Midland cardigan. I knew then that that was what I wanted to cast on for February. So my son helped me unravel. I've got this skein which I need to cake up, and my son helped me wind up, well, separate the two yarns, because it is a DK and this is the recommended yarn. I didn't want to risk just knitting it up with that lace included. So I was thinking, what am I going to use that lace weight for? And then I've been looking at another pattern, and I probably would have had enough. But when me and my son were unraveling, I mean, these yarns stick together like glue. I mean, you should have seen me and my son. It was so difficult. We had a ball about this big. It must have been like a worth in the sweater where I'd used a full skein of both. And oh my days, it took us an hour and a half to 2 hours, I think it was, just to unravel this one ball and rewind it up into, without getting in tangles, into two balls. Although all the lace that was in that I didn't bother with. I just literally had to. And Mona and my mum will probably be going, no. But yeah, I binned it. I'm sorry, it got into a massive yarn tangle, and I wasn't going to be dealing with that, so it just went. So I have got, I had an idea that maybe I could use that in another garment, but I don't know how much I'll have left and what I could use it for. I have been looking at the cognac sweater because Good Knits is doing a cognac KAL, and I really like the cognac because it's like the petite knit O neck cumulus, I think, and it comes down a bit, so I think it might be a better fit for me, and it's an I-cord edging. I only need 2 skeins of the main yarn because it's a fingering held with a fluff. Now I wouldn't want to do a fluff, but it's a 16 stitch gauge, so I can't just use the fingering on its own. That won't be enough. I've been trying to look what I've got in stash, because if I do decide to cast that on for the KAL, I don't really want to be buying yarn for it. I'm not sure what to do. Most of my yarn in stash that's of any quantity is earmarked for projects, or I might have, so this is 700 and something meters you need of the 2 yarns. See, I was thinking I probably could get away with holding fingering double, but I don't know if I've got enough, because I've got like a few, like 2 skeins that would be, so I've got I think I've got a purple dark, I got a really, really bright purple that I got from Yarndale called Void, I think, and that's really bright and nice. I'm not sure that would pair nice with this colour, but I have actually got in stash some Knitting for Olive Pure silk in a grey colour, which may work with that. To be fair though, I had it in mind with that purple, with it being a real bright pop of colour, just to do myself a top, because I can do like the sleeveless tops, like my outline tee. I can do them with 2 skeins. So, and that was a 50% silk and a 50% wool, and I was hoping to do a summer garment with that. So I'm not really sure if I've quite got in stash what I need. Some of the, like I say, I've got a couple of 2 skeins. I have got a, which might actually work, paired with this, the lace version of this. I have got 2 skeins of Sakami yarn that I got at Woolly Good Gathering last April. And that was part of the, what do they call it? The goodies bag that you could purchase as part of your tickets. So I got 2 of these, and they're in a neutral colour, so they probably would pair nicely with this. But then 16 stitch gauge, is it going to be, because the reason that they use a fingering and a fluff in the cognac pattern is so that the fluff fills in and plumps up and fills in the gaps. So I would have to probably, if I decided to do that combination, I would need to do a swatch, but it would be a really good way to use up that Sakami yarn. And what I might do with that is, because my 2 skeins of Sakami yarn are very different, so it might be a case that I need to alternate skeins with that and then hold it with the lace. So yeah, that might be an idea, and it's something that I was going to do the cloudberry tea with that, because a lot of my projects, my yarns are earmarked for projects. So I just need to have a bit of a think about it really. It only came up yesterday when I was watching the Good Knits podcast, and I saw the cognac sweater, and I just thought it was really nice, and I would do the I-cord version. And also, if you buy that pattern, then it does get, you can do the, you know, like with any pattern, but it gives you the instructions for doing the ribbed version, ribbed collar, cuffs and edge, and or to do the I-cord. So I probably couldn't knit another sweater from that pattern at a later date. Anyone else doing the cognac KAL? Have you got yarn in stash that you could use? Do you think the combinations I've been talking about sound good or not? Like I say, I will probably have to do some swatches and block them just to see how the finished fabric is going to be. Yeah, but so yeah, tomorrow's cast on will be the Midland cardigan for the first of the month with this yarn, and I'm really, really excited to be using this yarn again. Oh, and just to say, I will be recording this as an out, because even though it was in my outs last year, I don't track my ins and outs in my little notepad here as a way of accurately calculating what I have in stash. It's not that for me. My ins and outs are in my little notepad here are to track whether I'm at a plus or a negative for the year. And at the beginning of every year, I start at 0. And the reason I do that is because all I really want to know is how much yarn am I purchasing in that year, and then how much yarn have I used in that year, and have I used more or less than what I've purchased. And it's to make me mindful of what I'm bringing in, because as I've said before, I've got quite a lot of really, really nice yarn in stash that I want to get knitting through, and I'm getting to the point where I'm at capacity really for my storage space, and I don't think it's getting hard to get stuff in and out of the cupboard, to have it in an organised way. So I do want to work through the stash and just get it a bit more manageable and a bit more nice, if that makes sense. So looking forward a bit and talking about some stash that did come in my Ula and Leah, I've done a swatch, and my swatch is for the checker plate sweater by Lily Kate France. Now, as I've said with this yarn that the yak that I knit this sweater in, it bloomed a lot when it was blocked, and it definitely had a lot of spinning oil still remaining in the fibre. So what I wanted to do was, before I decided, and also knowing that the checker plate is knit on a worsted weight yarn, and it is knit at a 20.5 stitch gauge, and she uses 100% wool. So knowing that in the past I have made bad yarn choices for patterns because the structure is not correct for the pattern I'm wanting to make, I didn't want to start knitting the checker plate sweater without first doing a swatch and checking, because I did think there would be a difference in the fabric. So I'm going to show you the swatch. Beautiful colour. The yarns turned out absolutely lovely. Not as soft as I was expecting, I must say. But against do that against your skin on the back of your hand and it feels beautiful. Love the colour. But what do we think? And I don't know if you can see, but is this going to be a dense enough fabric? I did write down actually, just let me check for you. I wrote down because I checked my gauge. So the gauge before blocking was 20 stitches, so I was very close. Although I do think, see if I put my in against my skin, it does look, the only thing is the collar probably won't hold up if it's too, and that's the drape I'm getting now. Now I'm just going to get my ruler and I will check the gauge on this again now that I've blocked it. Okay, so I'm just going to count the stitches. Anyone else use something pointy to it's very, very hard to check your gauge on this because of the stitch pattern and knowing where to start and where to stop. And I do find gauge hard to check anyway. See, I think I'm bang on gauge now because I've got 11s. Well, no, let me just check that again actually. My bad maths, eh? It's very hard to tell if I have got 10 or 11 stitches per 2 inches. But if it's 10 it gives me 20 stitches per 4 inches. And if it's 11, it gives me 21. So I'm there or thereabouts, I'd say, with gauge, and I don't think it's grown much. I just don't know if this is the right yarn for that project. And as much as I want to really do that project, I don't want, and this is a, you know, this is a cashmere. It's a lovely yarn. I want to pair this with the right project as well. I've got 8 skeins of the DK of this, so I can do quite a few things. Sometimes it's hard, isn't it, when you've got a special yarn. See that the other one that I'd call a special yarn to me, my Isla yarn. I'm really not sure pairing that with the Calm Down cardigan has worked out. So, and I know I'm only halfway through the project, but I absolutely adore that yarn. It was so special. It cost me a lot of money, and I don't want it to be wasted. But hopefully that will be something to look at my Fix It, Frog It, Finish It February. But the things that I am going to be focusing on are, I've got my Daft Days to get finished, and I've made a plan now for that, and it shouldn't really take me too long. I've got my Rocket Tee to fix, and I really want to get that done this month. And the other projects I've got is my Nuss Light, but I probably won't get to that, and my Calm Down cardigan. I've got my mittens to finish, which I've only done one mitten. I've got the Love Link socks to finish, so I've only done one sock. So there is quite a few things, and there's no way I'm going to get through them all this month, but I definitely think I want to do the Rocket Tee, and I want to pick up that Daft Days cardigan and make a start on figuring out that. So that's done and off the needles. And then obviously work on my new socks and my new thing. So for my ins and outs for January, I had the lovely yarn that Mona bought me, and I'm definitely going to make that into an eclipse. I've made that decision now. I think that'll be a fantastic way to use that yarn. I'm still not 100% decided on what I want to pair with it. I'm hoping I can find a skein stash that I can use, because I really did love that I managed to use in my other one just stuff out the stash, and I just found an amazing pairing. I'll have to check actually how much I used of the Knitting for Olive, because that's another option to me, because the top I was originally going to make with the pure silk, I'm not so sure that I want to do that anymore. I've got Knitting for Olive pure silk. I can't remember if I've got 3 or 4 balls of that, and they're 50 grams, and that's in a lovely grey colour. So that's a potential to go with that purple. I think that might look quite nice. But I need to look in the single skeins, see if there's anything there. Oh, 1 minute, postman's here. Okay, I was talking about my ins and outs, wasn't I? So yes, the top I'm going to make with the 100 gram skein that Mona got me from Chicago. The Ula and Leah yarn came in, which is 1,200 grams. And the Patreon yarn for 100 grams. So that's 1,400 grams in January. Sounds like a lot, but I haven't made any random purchases this month. One was a gift. The Patreon yarn I enjoy receiving. I don't know how long I'll carry on with that, because it is quite expensive for what you get, but I do enjoy it. And the Ula and Leah, I ordered that in July last year. I knew that was on its way. Okay, and for my outs, I finished my Musselburgh hat with my Creative Garage skein, a beautiful skein that Vanessa dyed for me. I finished my Hibernal socks, That was 71 grams. And I finished my Mudo, which was just under 500 grams. So the out for January is 671 grams. And that leaves me at a plus of 729 grams. So 700, just over 700, just over 7 skeins have been added to my stash, and I don't think that's bad since I got that big order in. I'm quite pleased with that. And I'm just thinking if there's anything else that I wanted to talk to you about. There is potentially going to be an extra little video this weekend at some point. Depends what I manage to record, because I thought it would be nice to show you my cast-ons, that sort of thing. And yeah, and then there will be a video, sorry, on my, I nearly said my birthday then, not my birthday. The anniversary of my channel, which will be a year of me recording these videos for you, and that is the 12th of February, and there is going to be a couple of prizes, so look out for that video, subscribe, press the bell button, and then you'll get notified. Yeah, just thought I'd do a little giveaway just to say thank you very much for supporting me this last 12 months, subscribing, liking, commenting, all that sort of thing. So yeah, look out for the video on the 12th and there'll be more information in that. I'm looking here at the screen because I've got my goals for the year on here. So I have so far, I've tracked my yarn in and out. I cast on 1 garment and 1 pair of socks last month, and I've just done a little tally underneath on those 2 squares so that I can mark off each month when I do those. I'm going to be starting my fix or finish or frog in Feb, and I've got some plans I want to do for Daft Day and the Rocket Tee for definite, and then I will look at what other time I have. And what else have I been looking at? Yeah, my plan for this weekend is to decide what gift knits I want to do. And oh, I want to say thank you very much to anyone who joined up to the Discord and got the little sneak peek. So I may as well tell you about it now. I've decided to run a knit along, craft along, whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it a KAL just because I'll be knitting. And the idea is to get ahead with gift knits. Now that can be, I'm very relaxed with it. It can be whatever gift knits you need to get done this year. The whole idea behind it is I love in December knitting on my scrappy blanket, and I love knitting on it each day. I just find that so enjoyable, and I don't want to be knitting gifts in December. I want to have that free, clear, just knit on my blanket, knit on whatever projects bring me joy in that build up to the festive season. So in order to do that, we need to be organised, don't we, if we want to do any gift knits. And I know there's a few that I want to do. So I'm going to be running a KAL so that we can all join in. I have set up a group on my Discord server, and there is a link to that in the description. So if you're not joined up, go ahead and join. I've decided that I will call the KAL the Early Bird Gift Knits, and it's going to run from the 1st of March right through to the end of June. I think that's the 30th, isn't it, for June? And I'm going to do a monthly prize for anyone who takes part, just to give us all a little incentive to get the gift knits done. And I thought if I told you all about it now, we've got 4 weeks then to plan what we want to knit. I'm thinking that I could probably do 1 gift knit a month. I might be able to do more. I've already talked about gift knits before, but I'm thinking of doing a Laura Penrose, one of her hot water bottle ones, the colourwork ones. I definitely want to do one of them. And I also want to do some mittens. And I've already talked about, I've got some potential stuff in stash that I want to do for them. There's also potential that I might want to do something else, but they're the ideas that I've had at the moment. If you want to, I'm going to start this weekend while I'm thinking about my ideas. So I've made in the Discord server a few different threads. So there is a thread for just general chat, you know, while we're doing our gift knits, chats and encouragement. Pattern ideas, so we can all let each other know what we're thinking of knitting for gifts and all that. And any of those I will also add to a Ravelry bundle for anybody who is not on Discord. If you're not on Discord and you do want to join along, then you can, by all means, use the hashtag earlybirdgiftknits, and I'll put that on the screen so we can see. For all of us who are on Instagram, we can have a look at your photos and just, you know, encouraging each other. And then we've also got a chat for, well, I've got 2 threads on Discord that are for the whips and the finished objects. And in here, when you cast something on, if you pop a photo up, that will be an entry to the prizes. And then the finished object prize thread. So I'm thinking at the moment it's probably going to be 1 prize a month. At the end of the month I'll just draw that and I'll let you know. Very loose rules. I don't mind what you're knitting, who you're gifting it to, any of that sort of thing. It's entirely up to you. It's just a way to encourage us to get it all done, you know, way in advance and be organised. I have actually, surprise, surprise, and this is very early for me, sorted out 1 gift already for this year. So I've made a start. I just need to make a firm list and get the yarns all sorted and out. But it doesn't start till the 1st of March. So we've got plenty of time for any of us that want to join in. If you do want to join in, please head over to the Discord and pop a note in the chat or put a comment, something in the comments. I'd love for us all to join in this month in helping each other pick out our patterns and our yarns and just make it fun. And was there anything else that I wanted to talk to you about today? I think that was everything really. I have got a couple of prizes organised already for the KAL. And I will obviously probably be picking up a couple of bits at East Anglia Yarn Festival when we go there, because that's going to be relatively soon. It'll soon be here. Mid-March we're going, so it's only about 6 weeks now. Very, very excited for that because we're having 2-night stay over, which is great. I think the last thing that I just wanted to mention is last week I was reading the Pumpkin Spiced Cafe, I think it's called, and that's a series, and I finished that book. I will add a little add-on to what I said last week. It gets rather steamy with the sex scene, so if you don't want to, if that's not your cup of tea, just a word of warning, because I may have played down that in what I said last time. But that kind of is the theme. My way of describing it is modern day Mills and Boons. But that's the only thing that about these books is a bit weird. I absolutely am really enjoying reading them. They're very easy to read, very enjoyable, cozy romance. But the cozy romance doesn't go with the level of the, you know, sex scenes, if that makes sense. Nevertheless, I'm enjoying it. And I'm now reading the second book, which is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I think there's one more, does actually say on the back, spicy books, whatever that means. And it's a four chilies. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. Anyways, I've almost finished with this, and I was reading it last night in bed because that's another thing I want to mention. How are you getting on with New Year, New You, or whatever we all do at this time of year? I'm doing pretty well. I am not having devices. I'm not taking my phone or my iPad or anything like that up to bed at night. And I'm actually reading. And as you can see, I'm getting through these books quite quickly. And I'm really enjoying doing that. And I'm having about half an hour to 45 minutes reading before I go to sleep. And it's great. I'm also getting in a fantastic routine with my skin. So I've been using the Skin and Me for about a month now. So pretty pleased about that. Not yet got back on with the exercise, but watch this space because I am going to do something about that soon. There's just been quite a few things going on this month. And I think that is enough rambling for one day. I hope you have managed to get to the end. And if you have, thumbs up to you. Please, like I say again, like, subscribe, all the usual things. Got a couple of exciting videos obviously coming with and you know, the bits of prizes here and there for the KAL and for the anniversary of the channel. I can't really believe that it has been nearly a year. And I'll leave you now to get on with the rest of your evening. Hope you are going to enjoy some relaxing and knitting or crafting, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.